You open your umbrella without thinking twice. But 200 years ago, if you were a man, doing this exact thing could get you laughed at, spat on, or even chased through the street. Something this normal used to be a scandal, and it took one stubborn man 30 years to fix it. What could possibly be shameful about staying dry? Why would strangers throw garbage at someone for holding an umbrella? And how did this object go from social suicide to something every single person owns today? Stay with me, because the answer says a lot about how societies decide what's normal. Picture London in the 1750s. The streets are mud. The sky never seems to fully clear. Rain isn't rare here. It's daily life. But you're a man walking to work, and you have exactly two choices when the sky opens up. You either get soaked, ruining your coat and your dignity, or you pay for a hansom cab or a sedan chair, hoping one passes by in time. You imagine there must be a better way, something simple, something portable, but nobody around you uses it. Women carry small folding shades to block the sun, delicate things made of silk. Men don't touch them. If you did, people would assume something is wrong with you. So you just get wet. Everyone does. It's what's normal. Now, meet the man who's about to change everything. His name is Jonas Hanway. He's not an inventor. He's a merchant and a traveler, born in Portsmouth in 1712. By the time he's in his late 30s, he survived shipwrecks, crossed Russia, and traded through Persia. Along the way, he sees something strange. In places far from London, people, ordinary people, carry small portable covers to stay dry in the rain. Nobody stares at them, nobody laughs. It's just practical. In 1750, Hanway comes home to London, and he brings one of these devices with him. Historians agree on this part. Hanway becomes the first man in London to carry an umbrella regularly, out in the open without shame. What happens next is where the story gets ugly. You'd think people would be relieved. Finally, a way to stay dry without paying for a coach. Instead, you watch complete strangers hoot and jeer at Hanway as he walks past. Some shout at him, calling him a Frenchman. Because in London's mind, umbrellas are a French, effeminate thing, nothing a real English gentleman would ever hold. Coachmen are furious. Every time it rains, hansom cab drivers and sedan chair carriers get their busiest, most profitable hours. An umbrella means a pedestrian doesn't need to hire them anymore. So they see Hanway not just as strange, they see him as a threat to their income. Reports say drivers pelt him with rubbish. One coachman allegedly tries to run him over. Hanway, unbothered, uses his own umbrella to fight the man off. And here's the part that matters most. Hanway keeps going. Not for 1 week, not for 1 year, for roughly 30 years. Until his death in 1786, he carries that umbrella through every insult. Slowly, so slowly you'd barely notice month to month, other men start picking it up too. By the time Hanway dies, some Londoners have started calling their umbrellas Hanways in his honor. But the umbrella itself is far older than this story. Its roots go back over 3,000 years to ancient Egypt, Mesopotamia, and China, where it began life as a parasol, protection from the sun, not the rain. The word umbrella even comes from the Latin word for shade. It was the Chinese who first waxed and lacquered paper parasols so they could survive the rain, centuries before Europe caught on. Then, in 1852, an English industrialist named Samuel Fox transforms the object again. He patents a lightweight steel-ribbed frame, replacing the heavy wood and whalebone designs that came before. Some say the steel came from leftover stock originally meant for women's corsets. True or exaggerated, one thing is certain. Fox's design makes umbrellas cheaper, stronger, and finally practical to mass produce. Here's something that might surprise you. The shame wasn't really about the umbrella at all. It was about money and masculinity colliding. The coachmen weren't angry because an umbrella looked silly. They were angry because it threatened their entire business model. And the effeminate label stuck partly because, in England, only women had been using small folding parasols before Hanway. Men saw it as crossing an invisible line that had nothing to do with logic and everything to do with custom. And there's a darker twist to this object's later history. In 1978, a Bulgarian dissident named Georgi Markov was walking near a building in central London when someone brushed past him with an umbrella. Days later, he was dead, poisoned by a tiny pellet believed to have been fired from the umbrella's tip. The same object once mocked as harmless and feminine had by the 20th century become sophisticated enough to be turned into a weapon. Today, you don't think twice before grabbing your umbrella. Nobody calls you weak, nobody throws garbage at you. It's sold in every corner shop, tucked into every bag, given away as a free gift at conferences. It's one of the most unremarkable objects you own. But every time you open it, you're holding the result of one man's refusal to back down for 30 straight years, layered on top of 3,000 years of human beings trying to solve the exact same problem. How do you stay dry without giving up your freedom to walk outside? Here's the fact worth remembering. For decades, this object wasn't seen as a convenience. It was seen as a threat to manliness, to business, to tradition itself. And the surprising realization is this: so many of the things you use without a second thought were once considered strange, shameful, or even dangerous by the people who came before you. So next time it rains and you open your umbrella without a single thought, ask yourself, what other normal thing in your life might have started out as somebody's scandal?